Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name's Stone Rain Productions, but you can call me SRP if you'd like. And today I'd like to highlight this Sabine Green list. And yeah, I know you've probably seen Sabine Green, Sabine ECL, there's a lot of them. However, this list in particular won the first ever Star Wars Dad Online tournament. And I just wanted to go over it because there's some really awesome innovation here, and I think it needs to be highlighted. It was outstanding, and I'm sure you're probably looking at it now, but I wanted to go over the cards in the deck, explain everything, and yeah, we'll just get into it and take a look and see what's different from normal Sabine lists. So we'll start with a leader classic here. Sabine Wren is a 4 deploy, 2/5, that when it attacks it's going to deal damage to an enemy base, and it's pretty standard. On the front side it's got an action where you can deal 1 damage to each base, which has been very typical aggro leader for sure. Very, very good, very proven, and it's been amazing. ECL, no surprise here. Energy Conversion Lab is great, giving a unit ambush. This can often win the game with something like Podamarin or Wrecker, which we'll get into in just a little bit. So we've got the base covered here. This is the standard. So what makes this one different? There's 2 particular cards that stand out: the MC-30 Assault Frigate and Planetary Bombardment. Yes, Planetary Bombardment in a Sabine deck, and it worked pretty amazingly, I have to say. Watching the finals, Star Wars Dad's going to have gameplay on his channel. Should be out by the time this video comes out, but just something I wanted to highlight. So let's start off here at the beginning with Rebel Assault. 1 cost, and basically it's going to let you attack with 2 different Rebel units. You attack with 1, it gets +1/+0, and then you get to attack with another unit, it gets +1/+0. A little bit of action cheating, I guess, if you want to call it, but you're getting 2 attacks under 1 effect, essentially, here. Timely Reinforcements is just another way to give a unit ambush later in the game, and one of the best parts about this card is that you can smuggle it out, so you don't have to keep it in your hand. It's something that you can play from your resource row. It costs 1 extra doing it that way, but later in the game it's not as big of a deal. One of the standard cards in here is Battlefield Marine, 2 cost, 3/3. Typical Sabine card, very aggressive, early drop, it's awesome. Followed up here by Green Squadron A-Wing. Again, this is pretty standard in most Sabine lists. It's a very good unit, especially in space when it attacks. It's got the Raid 2. So we've got 3 damage here from Battlefield Marine and from Green Squadron A-Wing. Luke is no surprise as well. It is a 2 cost, 3/2, but it also can be a pilot, which also gives the 3/2 stats. And the nice thing here is if it's piloting and the unit is defeated, Luke moves to the ground exhausted. So always good. You're going to always get an extra use out of Luke here. One thing that was recently updated, and I was talking to KrishekTheCruel, which amazing guy, and I'm really happy that he won because this list is fantastic. And I just wanted to give you a big shout out, Krishek. You're awesome. Watching this deck play out and the finals, we had such an amazing finals, and by all means, if you haven't seen it, please check out Star Wars Dad's channel. It is fantastic. It's just, I can't describe it. It was really good and could have really gone either way. But all that to say, Krishek had a Y-Wing in here initially at the Phoenix Squadron spot, but he told me recently that he's updated it to the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing, 3/2 space. And I think both are good, but this is just more aggressive. I think it fits the build a little bit better. The next card up here is Sabine Wren, another classic Sabine card. And this one is going to let you attack and get an extra ping in for damage. So when it attacks, you can deal one to the defender or to a base, which is always great. And some text here that I think some people forget is, while there are at least 3 aspects among other friendly units, this unit can't be attacked unless it's a sentinel. So it's something to keep in mind at the very least. Sabine has seemed to move away from Darksaber in favor of Yoda's lightsaber, and we see that here. 2 copies of Yoda's lightsaber. The +3/+1 is very good. We don't have to necessarily have the Force. It's just a low-cost, aggressive upgrade for a unit that gets in there. Cassian Andor, again, another not a big surprise, but it's just a classic. It gets in for 3 readied from the smuggle row. If you can pay the 5, which most decks can late game, it comes into play ready and gets to attack for 3 right away. But otherwise, 3 for a 3/5 is top tier. That seems to be the case. One of the most popular power and toughness levels here for units at 3 cost. Fleet Lieutenant did some serious work in the finals, and again, really needs no introduction, but it's fantastic. The +2/+0 lets you attack with a rebel unit. Was really, really good. Some little innovation here was the Obi-Wan, and I had a little bit of a chat with Krishek about this as well. And this is just a one-time silver bullet, just to kind of soak up some damage and get out of the way. He wasn't really worried about playing an additional Force unit to keep giving this Sentinel. It's just meant to be a way to absorb some damage if they're playing against another aggro deck, for example. It's a good way to just step in the way. Red 5 is another fantastic unit here. 3 cost, 3/4 in space, a little bit above the curve, especially with the ability that it has for space anyway. The on attack says you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit, which is pretty helpful, and something like the Sabine pings can add up, where you get in, deal damage with the Sabine, and then you can finish it off with Red 5. Pretty great. Sabine's Masterpiece was also really awesome in the tournament. The extra damage that it gets from the aggression activation is pretty fantastic, and then also the experience from the command side was also very crucial in this win. For a cause I believe in, again, this is a staple, but paired with a planetary bombardment later on, it's a lot of damage, and between this and planetary bombardment, I think it makes this deck stand out even more than normal. Very good card. You can get up to 4 damage. However, to note here, we do have 5 total cards that are not considered hits. Just double checking. Oh, sorry. 7 total cards that are not hits. So we've got the Timely Reinforcements, we've got the MC Assault Frigate, and we've got the Planetary Bombardment. Those are not going to be hits for a cause. So it's not guaranteed 4 damage, but I still think it's a good include here. K2SO, another classic for Sabine. 4 cost, 4/4 Overwhelm, and the when defeated trigger is just, it can't be beat. You either make your opponent discard a card, or they take 3 damage to their base. It's a very aggressive unit, and I love it. Anybody that's playing aggression, heroism, it's almost an auto include in every deck. So some of the tech here that Krishek had put in the deck was this MC-30 Assault Frigate, and I have seen some lists running this as well, just as something for space. But the Overwhelm Raid 1 is great. The 5 cost 5/5 is also decently statted. But the very interesting thing to note here is the capital ship part. With this, we can get the extra damage from planetary bombardment, and we'll go over that shortly. But we did see, and to pretty dramatic effect in a couple of games, where this came down and then it wasn't dealt with, and then we saw the planetary bombardment, and it was just backbreaking, game over. It was brutal, and it was really cool. We've also got 3 copies of Poe Dameron. Again, this isn't really a big surprise for a Sabine deck. Very classic 5 cost, 6/6, overstated unit, and it's got the 3 big attack, on attack triggers that are very useful as well. Wrecker lived up to its name in the tournament as well, too. Another classic of Sabine lists. 6 cost, 7/6, very well statted. We've got Overwhelm, and then the when played lets us defeat a resource that we control and deal 5 damage to a ground unit. Very, very powerful. We saw this ambushed quite a bit in the Star Wars Dad tournament, and it was, as advertised, a wrecker. It was the tagline on the bottom is perfect for this card. Boom. Very, very excellent card. And we saved the best for last here. Planetary Bombardment was game-changing in this deck. Absolutely game-changing. And at worst, we're still getting 8 indirect damage off of this. In a deck that wants to be dealing damage, it's pretty amazing. And if we get the MC-30 Assault Frigate out as well with this, the 12 is just, it's too much to bear for most decks, and it's an amazing finisher. We saw this this card do some serious work, and it was really cool to watch. In the sideboard, Krishek has 2 Infiltrator skill, which just gives a unit Saboteur and +1/+1. It's a very good card to get past Sentinels, and it definitely did some work as well, as did Grenade Strike. That also, in tandem with Red 5, was pretty fantastic. Did a lot of work, and this one lets you deal 2 damage to a unit and then 1 damage to another unit in the same arena. The Seasoned Fleet Admiral, I hadn't really seen this tech too much until recently, but it's a neat card, and I like it quite a bit. So for those that don't know, it's 2 cost, command only, so important to note for a cause. Raid 1, when an opponent draws 1 or more cards during the action phase, you may give an experience token to this unit. So for those decks, something like the Yoda Red, where they draw extra cards, this will keep getting bigger and bigger. It's pretty nice, and I can absolutely see it with the meta the way it is now. Blue Leader is also a classic in my opinion. 3 costs, 3/3 with ambush, and when you play it, you can pay an additional 2 to move it to the ground arena. So it's a good way to get rid of units in space or on the ground that are giving you a headache. Very, very solid card, very flexible. And lastly, to round everything out, we've got 2 copies of Kit Fisto's Ether Sprite. Another one that I really like a lot. 5 cost, 4/5. A little bit understated, but for what it does, it's great. Saboteur, and when played, you can defeat any number of upgrades on a unit. This particularly stands out against like a Kylo. As long as they're not doing snapshot reflexes, this card is pretty awesome. Or anything that's really loaded up with a lot of upgrades. And that is the deck in totality here. I wanted to highlight this and just show off the amazing tech that Krishek brought with this. The MC-30, I would have never thought anything about it until I saw the planetary bombardments, and it was just really well done. And so I just want to say congratulations, Krishek, on a really well-deserved win. You did awesome. This is some cool tech, and it's nice to see stuff like this happen. I personally am not a big aggressive player. I like more control or mid-range tiles, but this deck is undeniable. It's pretty awesome, and just wanted to highlight it. And before I head out the door, I just wanted to say thanks again for all the support that you guys have given me so far. Really appreciate it. And if you could please subscribe and like the video, definitely helps me out as I'm a pretty new content creator for Star Wars Unlimited. One last time, just wanted to say thanks again, and may the Force be with you all. Hope you all are well. Take care, everybody.